Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. We've got the 2.7 preview blog for season 23, I guess. PTR is going to start in 2 days, which is awesome. I will link this for you in the description so you can read it yourself. Season theme. It's going to revolve around followers, which is going to be pretty cool. This is like the follower revamp. Basically, it's something the community's talked about for ages. I never thought I'd see it happen, so well done, Blizz. Really happy with that. Leaderboard changes. Again, this is something that, I mean, what, Fluff and PTR have been asking for this for about 3 years. We couldn't get it. It's POG. It's so POG. And we've also got some balance changes, which is pretty nice. So we've got all the usual stuff for PTR. We've got more legendaries, increased XP, double blood shards, yada yada yada. We get dank meme so that we can basically get gear really fast, which is fine. And then basically what they're saying is, can you focus on the following? So Firebirds Finery, I mean, great. This is one of the worst sets in the game, so I'm really happy they're reworking this. Necro Rathma, again, it's not complete garbage, but it's not very good, so again, really happy they've reworked this. Gears of Dreadland, I'm sorry Demon Hunters, you are getting smacked with the Nerf hammer, and Witch Doctor Gazing Demise again is also getting the Nerf hammer smacked over the head. Yeah, so basically test the follow system, have a look at the leaderboards. This is going to be so much fun, absolutely can't wait for this. We'll skip the testing tips, we don't need those. Right, seasons. Follow system revamp. So what we're going to do here in essence is it's going to be available for season and non-season, but it will come first as the season theme. So it won't be live when the patch goes live. You'll have to play the season if you want to get all this follower stuff, which we'll go through in a sec. But it will come to the game afterwards, I think. So, you know, obviously it says season and non-season. I mean, it may well be possible that they both come at the same time, but that would be a little weird because there's not much of an incentive to play this season. But the idea is your follower is going to get 14 inventory slot items. So as a character, we get 13, but obviously the follower gets the relic as well. So that's why it's 14. So you can pretty much juice your follower up with full gear. Now, whether that means they actually do any damage, probably not, because obviously we've got all the like multipliers on top. So I still don't expect them to do any damage, but it is interesting. Now, I've got this new feature here, Emanate? I don't know, someone will pronounce this properly. But basically we can gain the intended effect of certain legendary powers and set bonus when equipped on the follower. Current items with this capability, so presumably you can chuck anything on your follower you want, but if you put any of these, you will get the special power. So Broken Crown, this gives us double gems, so when a gem drops in the game, whatever is socketed in this, we get another one. So that is like pretty much just a T16 item. Homing pads, when you go for teleport back to town, you can't be interrupted and you get damage reduction. That could be useful for hardcore, for like pushing and stuff. But in general, it's normally a T16 type item. Boulders of Zakara, this is the one that means you don't have to repair anything. So, you know, if you stick these on your follower, you don't have to bother repairing ever, which is interesting. Gold skin, I think this is monsters drop gold when they get hit, so a bit more gold. I tend to wear this on characters in T16 because it drops with gold find and its secondaries, but you know, whatever. The Custarian or wrist guards, it's waist guards and wrist guards, you get XP as you collect gold. It's not that big, it's a very minimal amount of XP, so I don't see anybody ever using those other than like a super early game. Nems, God tier, best in slot. I mean, unless maybe, I mean, I can't really think why you wouldn't want Nems. You're just always going to want them. I mean, it's brilliant for Necro because it frees up Bone Spear to take the Necro braces, which is nice. And speed builds, now it means that we can get like, you know, like seismic slam and stuff. You know, anything that's got a modifier and a bracer. This is great news because if you like, obviously this is all solo stuff because obviously you don't have followers in groups. but you know, any kind of speed build, you're going to take Nems. Gladiator Gauntlets, I think this makes gold rain from the sky. I've never used these. You will never use them on your follower either. Gloves of Worship are pretty good. This is the one that lets shrine effects last 10 minutes. Again, T16 item. The Dovu Energy Trap, I think this is the one that extends stun duration. So, I mean, that will potentially have some synergies with anything that stuns, so that's quite nice. The Glass of Life, I've never used Rakov's Glass of Life. I think it's got something to do with extra health globe spawns. Again, you're probably not going to use it. You'll see why in a couple more items time. Avarice Band, Poggers. You know, every T16 build uses Avarice Band. Every bounty build uses Avarice Band. So, you know, if you're playing solo, you get to basically have your follower and they have Avarice Band on for T16. So again, we get to open up ring slots. Great for Necro. Necro's got tons of rings and stuff. Creedy's Flame, I found my 4th primal one of these the other day. You're not going to use this. It's what does it do? It restores life as you spend. If you get hit by fire, it either gives you life or gives you resources, something crazy. It's not very good. Best in slot, god tier item, Flavor of Time. Necklace, obviously everybody's follower is going to have a Flavor of Time, and everybody's follower is going to have Nemesis braces, I would have thought. So this is the one that doubles the effect of pylons, so they last twice as long. It doesn't double the effect, doesn't make you hit twice as hard with power, but it just makes the power last twice as long. Super cool here, we get the Sage's Journey. So obviously we can't put a rogue on the follower, so we're going to have to do 3, but that basically means double DBs. Again, great for T16. And the same for Canes, we get a 25% extra chance on each individual key dropped. We've used this quite a lot this season with hot swaps and stuff. So, you know, follow it, you can get them pretty juiced up for T16. Now, obviously, if you group and you spend tons of time in group, this is completely worthless to you. Absolutely none of this is going to get used. So that's a little bit of a downside, but for the solo casual players, I think this is really cool. You're going to basically have just a few extra little powers here and there. It's going to be fun to kick your follower out a little bit. You know, extra keys, extra DBs, extra gems, extra gold, extra elites, Avarice Band for free. Yeah, you know, it's quite interesting. It's kind of a little bit like a load of T16 cube items via the back door, I guess. Now we're actually going to revamp all of the follower skills. I'm not going to sit here and read these because these will obviously take quite a while, but basically the Scoundrel's getting juiced so that hopefully speaking he gets used, because like at the moment he just completely doesn't. The crit chance going up is pretty interesting, and we also get this damage increase on him as well with these abilities. We get to stun for quite some time as well, so again there could be some synergy with stun here, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, I don't know. We also get this hardcore. This is going to be clutch. When we take fatal damage, Scoundrel conceals you for 3 to 7 seconds based on his dexterity and prevents your death. So it's like a cheat death. So I mean, that's like for hardcore. This guy's going to be your number one dude now. What else have we got? Cloud that covers an area for 10 to these are all new, by the way. All the that's rework. These are new skills. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But yeah, we get basically all attacks in the cloud will be crits. You know, I mean, that's a pretty juicy damage increase if you plonk this down and then smack everything for 100% crit. That's quite nice. So yeah, there's like a few of these, and it's the same for all of them. We've got some changes. You know, we've got damage increase and stuff. So your Templar, your Enchantress, your Scoundrel, they're all going to do stuff. But as I said, I'm not going to sit and read all of them. I think that'll probably just be a little boring. But the idea is that they are going to be, you know, much more useful, much more impactful. Again, this is obviously only going to really affect solo players, because when you group, you don't get a follower. So, you know, for groups, not going to make any difference. But yeah, so as I say, you can read them yourself. But what they're hoping is that they'll be more meaningful, provide greater utility, and obviously, yeah, for the single player experience. So I've done a lot more grouping this season, but traditionally I've been a solo casual player. So I think for people who do that, this is POG. It's really good. Now, this is brilliant. This is an incredible change. It sounds small. What but I'll walk you through, well, in my opinion, why it isn't. Now, Greater Rift solo leaderboards will now contain additional filters to sort by. So we've got a total of 7, it says. I presume that's 1 for each set, because it says you can filter by class set. So each class has got 7 sets now. Then there's no class set, so that will be Legacy Dream. So I guess that to me makes 9, because then you'll have the overall default filter. So I'm not sure why it's 7. I don't know, but presumably you'll be able to sort by class. So for instance, I'm pushing Leapquake and desperately trying to get that on the overall board. I did get on, I'm now off, I've got to go do another tier or 2 on it, but as of next season I can just click class sets, filter by Leapquake, I could find out where I am. Now this is also completely POG, because it means that instead of just having to push the meta thing, like Whirlwind for instance on Barbarian, I can now set up Raycore and play. If I want to push Raycore, I can just filter by Raycore and I can play Raycore. If I want to go on the Necromancer and play the cruddy Tragul set, or if I want to push Inarius, I can go push Inarius. So, you know, with this small little change, we open up the ability to play any set in the game and push the boards, which I just think is incredible. You know, I mean, imagine Wadijo going crazy with this. He's going to go absolutely crazy. You know, rank 1 on everything is going to be so cool. I'm going to enjoy it a lot. Jesus, I don't know. I normally play all the classes. I don't know if I can stretch to all the sets, but you know, who knows? Maybe we'll pick a couple of classes and go through. But this is just an incredible change. I'm so happy with this. So what have they said? In the current form, solo leaderboards are great at showcasing strongest builds. Yeah, read here repetitive, but they only highlight a small percentage. So yeah, empower the community. I think this is just brilliant. Favorite set represented on the board. Cool. We're going to get a portrait frame and a pet. We won't see these in the PTR. So who knows? Who knows what they'll be? And yeah, balance change time, I guess. Now this is always good juice. Rathma, really pleased they've reworked this, as I said at the start. Minions reduce the cooldown of Army of the Dead by 1 second each time they deal damage. Skeletal warriors spawn faster, and your revive minions no longer expire. So we're turning this into a pet set. Again, Fluff, I love you, buddy. You've been saying about this again for about 2-3 years. So that's pretty cool. 4-piece, we get a 75% damage reduction. Minions no longer take damage, so they're all immortal, which is cool. And we get 75% damage reduction. Big damage reduction for the Necro. It's needed because we're squishy. Bear in mind, we're going to have tons of pets about, which are great for meat shields. So this could be a very tanky way to play Necro. Each active minion increases damage of Army of the Dead and Bone Spirit by 1000%. We haven't used Bone Spirit much really as the Necro, so it's a cool skill. It looks cool. So that's interesting. Army of the Dead, again, we don't really use much. And we've basically got the Defiler Cruisers, which are a pair of trousers or pants, and we're basically getting this active effect, so it increases for each second it's alive. So there's a bit of cheese that you can do if you stand at one end of the map on like a tunnel and fire it. It just keeps going up and up, and it'll one shot like a 150 Rift Guardian. Interesting, it will also freeze on impact, so that's great because that's going to proc Crispin's sentence presumably. So the idea, I guess, is that you've got all your minions around, they're doing all this damage reduction, they're you know, essentially getting ready for you to drop the hammer of the Bone Spirits. And we've got this new item, Bonds of Selena. So I don't know, are they going to be gloves, braces, I presume? I'd guess braces. But yeah, not too sure. Army of the Dead and Bone Spirit deal 3 to 400% extra damage, and Bone Spirit also does an extra 2% for each 5 seconds. 2% increased damage for 5 seconds each time Army of the Dead hits an enemy. So again, synergy there with the Army of the Dead. So it's like a damage window, I guess, which is going to be fun. Looking forward to learning that. And basically the issue with Rathma, yeah, it plays just like Lord Mages. So this is cool. This is kind of what I wanted, a kind of pet-ish set that doesn't revolve around mages, basically. So that is pretty nice. Firebirds, this is almost hand for hand what I wanted to see out of this, because we're basically getting a disintegrate build. which is the laser, dual beam laser, Superman eyes, which is pretty good. So Disintegrate will ignite enemies. So we only now have to hit with the 1 fire skills. Again, big brain players probably not going to like this too much, but for casual people, it makes it super simple, super straightforward. They take 3000% weapon damage until they die, which is nice. We get 80% damage reduction and 4k damage increase whilst Ignite is applied. Casting Disintegrate adds combustion stacks now. They reduced the cooldown of Teleport by 2%, stacks up to 50 times. I would like the damage reduction to last a little longer because Firebirds, and I presume it'll still be the same, once this drops off, your 80% damage reduction goes as soon as the elite that you've got ignited vaporizes. But this is cool. Teleport cooldown, so we could have a really fun speed build where we're just disintegrating loads and resetting the teleport cooldown. That could be pretty pog. And then we only have to use one other fire spell. Again, big brain probably not going to like this too much, but all we do have to do is basically hit with another fire skill and we get a damage increase depending on the number of combustion stacks. So it's 50 times, so obviously that's going to be huge. It's basically going to be you tag everything with the disintegrate, hit them with another fire, and it'll kind of blow them up. So again, maybe there'll be a kind of big brain mechanic to it, which is nice. So nice touch here. Firebirds Finer is due for a rebirth. Obviously, it's like the Phoenix set, isn't it? So that's pretty cool. Brings new life into it. Yeah, let's see what we do. Gears of Dreadlands. Hungering Arrow pierces a maximum of 2 times whilst wearing the Gears of Dreadlands. Now, this is potentially a pretty big nerf because this can go through quite a lot of pierces. So basically, they're turning it down. Like, casual players won't notice this so much. It's going to be much more apparent when you're pushing because you're going to be grouping stuff. But one of the reasons this does so much damage is because when it goes through multiple pierces, the damage skyrockets, and that's kind of how the missile dampening thing works. It slows the projectile down, the game registers it as more pierces, and that's where you get like these crazy clears where people look for missile dampening. So that will be gone. We'll obviously have to test it. I think that's, I mean, obviously it's PTR, these things can change. That looks like a big nerf. Again, for casual players, maybe not such a big deal. Gazing Demise, the Spirit Barrage is increased to 100 to 150%. This reads like it's a buff, but it's actually a nerf. I think it looks like it's losing. I mean, Lexi was sort of suggesting, a fair few tiers, but we'll have to sort of see. And again, the developers know it's overperforming, and this should be able to bring it down. So it's going to be very interesting next season because this has been nerfed. Gears of Dreadlands have been nerfed. Obviously, Bone Spear is coming down anyway because of the 4th cube. Shotgun is getting the Norval set ripped off it again because of the cube. It's going to be really interesting to see what's going to be top build next season. And this change, again, we've asked for this for so long. Not to make Blackthorns good, because obviously it's a bit of a meme, but basically you're going to get elemental damage affix on it. So it means, like, I've created a Witch Doctor every season to go for the Swampland Wade's pants, and we now don't have to do that because we just basically roll pants and eventually we get ones with element on, which is cool. Yeah, and we've obviously got a change to the Bones of Rathma set dungeon to fit with the new set. So that is pretty much it, and there's a load of instructions on how to make your character. So to sum it up, followers are now going to be much more usable. Single player only, obviously, because it's followers. It looks to me primarily focused around T16s, but we do have NEMs, we do have the Dovu energy tap, and we also have the Flavor of Time. It's kind of like giving every player those for free, which is interesting. More resources as well, which is nice. A rework to some of the skills, going to try and make them more impactful so that they actually help you do damage. Again, kind of helping to bridge the gap, I guess, a little bit to to people who play in groups. But I guess when you go for your solo push after you've been grouping, you get all this anyway. But yeah, all that's really pog. And then we've got basically just a couple of changes. We've got Wrathma set rework, some extra Necro items to help buff up that particular build, Firebirds disintegrate, and yeah, Gears of Dreadlon nerf, Mundanuku nerf, and Blackthorns. Blackthorns for the win. Cool, right, well that just about covers it. As I say, it's linked in the description, and you can go and read it yourself. I absolutely can't wait to get stuck into this. There's not a ton of stuff to test, I guess, in terms of the balance changes, but it's going to be fun playing about with those leaderboard filters. I don't know, we might have to level all the characters to get access to the leaderboard filters. It might just be through when we get through, I don't know, we'll find out in a couple of days, I guess. That's it. I've been the Filthy Casual. Do come by the stream. We'll try and test as much as we can, you know, as fast as we can. I'll probably play PTR for the full 2 weeks, as I do every time it comes out, because it is super fun. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Peace.
Savannah.